GTA 5 is that game, and it has been for the last 10 years. And it's not a surprise, because it's got all the cars, they're rooming, the boys are shooting, all the banks they looting, and at the club, they are harassing loyal patrons. GTA 5 is nothing less of a cultural icon of the past decade, and it's been absolutely loved to death. Years of online support, classic characters, sexy mods, hilarious gameplay, and years of support has led to this game ascending from just being a huge video game to being a part of the cultural zeitgeist. So today I think it's time to look back at this game 10 years later and how it affected my childhood and how I grew up, because it absolutely didn't. Yeah, you read the title right, and no, this is not clickbait. I have never played GTA 5 until this year. All my friends were playing different online games like Overwatch, Fortnite, Rocket League, and GTA Online was never really a huge part of our gaming lineup. So I never really had an interest to go back and play this game, but with the 10-year anniversary coming up and now me being a man of culture and understanding how impactful it is, there was no way I was going to let this opportunity pass me by and not make a video on it. So I went all the way back to GTA 5, I bought it, I went in completely blind, I had no idea how the story went or any of the gameplay really, and I completely discovered on my own the world of Los Santos. So let's look at how well GTA 5 holds up to someone playing it for the first time 10 years later. When you enter the world of Los Santos, you're basked with the sunlit rays of the laid-back tunes of the world, the slick driving, the beautiful backdrop with all the fake shiny exteriors to a filthy yet colorful world. And I think that's the best part of the game, the vibes it gives you. What is better than the main story of GTA 5? Well, I'll tell you, it's driving around in a sweet car as the tunes play at full blast, running into random people, gunning someone down, getting chased by police, hopping into a plane, flying away, rotor goes away as you eject away. This is all while the music's playing these incredible jams, driving your creativity to do whatever you want. If you can dream it, you can do it in this crazy sandbox world. Blowing people up, zipping down on motorcycles, murdering inbred weirdos and crazy border control people. It's all there for you to do. I love my time just exploring this world and basking in the vibes of it, sometimes just avoiding all of my responsibilities.
Oh, my N-word, huh? What's up, homie, huh? Oh.
Speaking of responsibilities, I guess we can talk about the rest of the game, even though it's kind of not as fun as the open world. Let's start with the missions. Okay, the missions are good to be clear, but when it comes to accessibility and straight up creativity, there's a drastic tonal shift when it comes from the missions to the open world. The story missions here are very serialized and pretty straightforward missions that don't give you a lot of creativity when it comes to how they are tackled. And honestly, I genuinely loved a lot of them. They are at their best when they are perfectly intertwined with that pacing of the open world. GTA 5, when it's working on all cylinders, is when you're doing your own thing in the open world, which ends up funneling you naturally into these incredibly fun, charismatic narrative chapters of this larger story that you feel that you're personally weaving. When you're able to get the open world and the story missions combining naturally, it's absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, this never happens. Usually you will be doing something completely disconnected to the story, and then you'll just hop into a mission that is tonally completely different, and no one cares that you're just riddled with bullets. These different directions for gameplay just don't always jive together, and unlike other Rockstar games as well, I'd also say that like 30% of the missions in this game are just not fun. Boring crate missions, tow truck missions, picking up my whore daughter missions, therapy missions, yoga missions, this biking mission. More than most other games, there were a lot of times where the missions were just completely unfun to play and made me just wish that I never clicked on them and just kept exploring the open world, which is a problem when they are the sole reason to motivate you to explore the open world, because the actual open world itself in this game doesn't motivate you to explore it because it doesn't have a lot to offer. Just like Los Angeles, Los Santos is a world that is beautiful on its exterior but quite hollow underneath, not offering any real incentive to explore the open world other than pure curiosity. You are driven by moving from random point in the open world to another point in the open world because of missions and events that happen. But luckily, most of the missions, like 70% of them, are just a blast, and that is because of the glamour, the set pieces, the hilarious lines, and most importantly, no matter what mission you're in, it is going to be at least somewhat fun because you will be playing one of the three main characters in this game, and they are also charismatic. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor are now some of my favorite video game characters. They aren't incredibly deep, but they are very distinct, and their incredible voice acting really elevates their characters. Wherever you are in this game, you know that at least the dialogue and the character interactions will be fun. The game's writing is always riding this line tonally between being a glitzy party world with huge amounts of parody, while also sometimes having to be more serious, and when it does do serious moments moments the beats do hit, while also keeping that really fun and extravagant tone that the game's going for. The story isn't deep, but it is fun. You do get this feeling while it progresses though to the end that you aren't actually playing for the story, but instead you're actually following for the characters. The story itself is not the reason that you're playing the game. You are actually playing the game because you actually grow to care about these characters more than the actual story itself. That said, the game's missions though do their job by making you want to come back for that next big moment, because some of these missions, especially the heists, are so bombastic and so fun that you're willing to put up with a possibly boring one just to get this legendary moment while playing as these characters that you always love, because you're always going to be entertained and they're usually making you laugh. Usually. Some of these jokes don't land, but that's Rockstar. And those vibes of having a fun, laid-back story along with laid-back and exciting gameplay leads to this incredible tone and energy this game creates that makes it one of the most relaxing and fun games to play. And also, it makes it one of the most replayable games to play. And then the reason it is that is not because of what it actually achieves, but how the game makes you feel. GTA 5 is working at its best when it feels like a Friday night with your best friends cruising around without a care in the world. In GTA 5, you might run into something amazing. You might have a crazy shootout with these guns that feel like you're shooting marshmallows. Or you might just not do anything, instead deciding to cruise around while hanging back and listening to music. GTA 5 is not a deep game, but it's a constantly entertaining one. A non-stop caffeine-infused roller coaster that works at its best when you just don't want to get off the game. This game isn't perfect, but these characters are so entertaining, the driving is so fun, and the world is just so cozy that it's a game that I can understand why people just keep coming back to year in and year out. It's one of the most relaxing games I've played, and it was an absolute jam. It might be 10 years old, but the enjoyment I've got from it is the amount of quality I would expect from a game that came out today. And for that, I give GTA 5 a strong 7 out of 10. Well, that's my review for GTA 5. As someone completely new to the GTA series, I absolutely loved it. I might go back and play GTA 4 in San Andreas. And I only paid $15 for this game on Steam sale, so let's see how much the next game is going to cost. And